Live from the Desperate Measures Pulling Team Studios, Spinnin N Grinnin here to bring you pulling down the East Coast. It's Wednesday night with your mentally unstable host, Tony Kosar.
Yay. Yay, clap, yay. All right, that's enough. I had to do that. Like I said, I'm playing around with stuff and I have having fun. But anyway, fans, pullers, promoters, across the nation, how are we doing tonight? It is Wednesday. It is July 5th. Yesterday, the 4th, Independence Day. Happy Independence Day to everybody. I got my little flaggies going on around here. I decided to put them up just for a little extra touch. Of course, I got my little light-up John Deere thing because I'm a John Deere fan. Sorry. But I like them all, but I grew up a green, and I favored a green. So last week, as everybody knows, I'm keeping an eye on my screen because I had a little bit of freezing up yet again. Even though I did the update on this program, I'm going to have to contact the vMix tech support, whatever they're called, and find out exactly what is going on and why it freezes up. Like right now it's going good, but I got to keep an eye on it. I'm probably going to have to reset it. I just got a feeling because I've been sitting here making sure everything was going good, and it was still doing it. And I don't know. But anyway, we had bad technical difficulties last week, and that was my fault by not realizing the kind of little touch-up I did later on that night, last Wednesday. Did not realize that it had a little update thing, so now I keep an eye on that, so whenever it pops up, boom, I whack that sucker because we're not going to be going through that ever again. So we're getting it ironed out. I'm a mechanic by trade. I'm not an IT guy, so I'm not saying I'm horrible with the stuff. I have a little grasp on it, but I mean, there is stuff in there that I don't even know how to use yet. So it's a pretty crazy deal. But anyway, most sincere apologies on that from here. It really stunk because I had a lot of good stuff to cover, and now I got to try to cover that all at once. So we're going to try to run this until about 9:30. So I don't want to go really too far past because those 2-3 hour shows just get so drug out, so long. I don't really care. I'll sit here and talk forever, but it's who wants to watch it for that long? You know what I mean? It gets a little bit excessive. So we're going to try to cut it a little bit like normal time, if you want to call it that. But anyhow, little headphone thing on tonight, just because a little bit of freedom of the hands. I don't have this thing hanging in front of me. Look like something from ESPN, I guess. Whatever. But the live call-in thing I wanted to do last week, we're gonna do that over. I needed to clip that cord across my back because that is so annoying. We're gonna make improvements on that one, but the live call-in show I wanted to do, and we're gonna make up for it this week. But to get things rolling, started, make sure we're still moving here. Hello, yay! But usual recap that we do. East Coast Pullers LLC, I'm part of it. That's what we have in the area. That's the extension of the PPL, the Pro Polling League Series. That's what they're part of. And that's what we got out here. That's our big stuff. And that's what what I'm into. I joined it just because there was limited on the local polling. And it's a great group, great bunch of people. And it's been a blast so far. I mean, I am the little guy in the class, but I mean, I'm trying to make headway, but I'm going backwards with the truck lately, and I don't know why. I don't know if something's getting in I don't know what it is. I just don't know yet. So we're trying to make headway, and it was going good, and I keep changing stuff, and it's going backwards. So I think I just need to stop changing stuff and just pull, learn the tracks, learn the sled. But I'm trying to get up there. I know I can't beat them. I mean, I know how much more they have, but I just don't know where I'm going wrong. So I guess it's about time to stop trying to go wrong and go back to what was working and just let it be and see what happens. So, keep it simple for the first year, and then we'll work on it next year. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, we're still moving, so that's good. But check my notes because I got so much stuff here. But like I said, live call-in show. First time that I'm going to try doing it. So after we do the East Coast recap, that's when I'm going to open up the phone lines to anybody listening. Actually, you know what? I'm not even paying attention over here if I can get my mouse to go. Hey, come on. There we go. Click on that and refresh somehow. I don't know how. Oh, boy, this is going to be cute. It says it's streaming. I got to see how I can figure out how to get this up here without screwing everything up. Let's click on that and see what it does. Hey, look at that. I think it refreshed. Just keep an eye on it in case anybody's comment. Put the thing right in your truck. I'm getting there, Walter. That's Walter Smith with Let me think in my head. I don't have the card handy, or do I? Yes, I do. Let me grab that so I don't screw everything up on you here. But Mr. Walter Smith from Custom Metals Welding and Fabrication LLC. He is the one that does the hand throttles. He does a lot of other stuff. I don't even know half the stuff he does, but anything dealing with metal, the man does. He's great at what he does. Really want to get him to do a set of headers for me one of these days, but I just got to save up for that a little bit. So I'm not going to watch this. I'm just going to. Hopefully all these comments pop up just on here. We're going to see how that works out. Playing around with screens. I got one screen here. That one's split. That one over there. I probably need one more at some point, but it's a lot going on. I almost need somebody to sit there and play with the computer stuff. But, hey, it's a one-man show at the moment, so we're going to go with it. But, anyway, we got the East Coast Pullers LLC. Let's see, what is that? 2 weeks ago, I guess it is now. Pocomoke City ran. That's what screwed up last week's show. And we also just had Shippensburg. So we're going to cover all that stuff. First, we'll go through Pocomoke. Got the rundown for you, my usual. Pocomoke City, Maryland. Never been there before, but it was my first time ever being in Pocomoke City at the track at the fairgrounds. Pretty cool place. They got like a pond in the middle. I mean, it's neat. It is a really neat place. It was bad humid. Oh, Lord, it was humid. I mean, I guess that's at Eastern Shore. I mean, it's pretty far south in Maryland. I mean, it's below Delaware. So the humidity was pretty bad, but it got a little bit better at night. The track, I didn't get to pull on the track. From what I saw on the track, I don't know if the track was tight, loose. Kind of had a loose look, but it kind of looked like you can get a hold of something at the same time. I could be wrong. Like I said, I did not pull on it. But I would love to pull that track. It was flat, smooth. The Saathoff family are the ones who took care of the track. They did the track work, putting it back together, rolling it, scraping everything. They do a wonderful job at Tuckahoe in down near kind of like Easton Maryland. Yeah, it is Maryland. Yeah, the Easton Maryland area. They do an excellent job down there. I've seen them do it. Other places they've done. I mean, they kept putting it back together, and it was just flat, smooth. It was actually a really worked out well. I mean, they do an awesome job. The headers are too big for your desk. Yeah, no, I need them for the truck, Walter. But anyway, get back to the East Coast stuff. They a wonderful place. Seating, I mean, people were up on the hills, the little hillside. People were on the pond side, back of pickup trucks. I mean, spectator turnout was phenomenal. I mean, it was just it was one of the best that I've seen out of a lot of the events. I mean, the Buck does put butts in the seats, but I mean, there was no room there at Pocomoke. I mean, the people came, they enjoyed it, they had a blast, they had fun. I mean, it was a really great event. I mean, I really like it down there. I mean, I hope one day the four-wheel drive class will get back there. I don't know why it's not there. It was there at one time. I don't know if the guys just don't like the track or whatever. It's one of them things where it bounces back and forth, so you never know. It might come back. I kind of hope it does. It is a little bit of a ride. I mean, you're looking at, from me here in Oakton, Maryland, to go down south, it's probably, with towing the trailer, I would say I'd take a guess at 3 hours. But it's worth the trip. I mean, it's definitely worth the trip. I had a lot of fun down there. John and Gloria Smith are the ones who put that together. Of course, there are other people that do help. I don't know everybody that did it, but I know John and Gloria, they put a lot of work into it, and they executed it great, worked with East Coast. I mean, they work with East Coast a lot. They're kind of, I wouldn't say connected, but I mean, they're friends, they know each other, they help each other out, and it was just an altogether great event. Pocomoke was a blast. I'm really glad I decided to go. I wasn't going to go anywhere that weekend, just to take a break, stay home, catch up on some stuff, which I still ain't caught up on these videos, but it was worthwhile going down there, escaping. That was my bad week. I mean, I was about ready to fly off the handle, so it was nice to get down there, just more or less forget about what's going on around here and just run down there, enjoy the pull, and it was a great pull. I mean, just awesome pull. Of course, I got my winter circle clips for that, but we'll play that after I do the rundown. Just making sure I don't forget nothing down there. I mean, it was just, I was having a blast. I mean, they had a little, the guys were new to working the laser for the sled. Kraus sled was down there with Brian behind the seat, and he did an excellent job. We've had him for the past couple pulls, and I mean, he did great. I mean, got the settings right, everything. I mean, Brian's a great operator in the sled. So, I mean, if Kraus ever listens to my show, he's lucky to have Brian as an operator. I mean, the man is good. He listens. He's cool. He works with you. He's a great all-around guy. I can't say, there's nothing bad I can say about Brian at all. I mean, Rick, I had a little problems with back in the past, but me and him, well, I hope we brushed under the table. And Rick really shined the light. He was a little bit kind of, I don't want to be mean about it, but a little bit hard-headed in the beginning, getting into the sled pulling stuff, because he was a puller himself, so he understands stuff, so I understand where he could get frustrated as a puller, because he knows what way it should be in his view, but not so much the promoter, so it could bump heads or whatever, but he's really figured out a lot of stuff, and Rick's doing well himself in the sled. I have no problems pulling if Rick's behind the wheel. We did it last year at Delta. Rick was in it, and it was a smooth sled. It was his new pink sled. It was great, so, definite props to, the Kraus Sled Rentals are doing a great job. I don't even know who we got next. Had him at Pocomoke. Well, had him at Bloomsburg, had him at Pocomoke, and then had him at Shippensburg, so... Next event, let me read my list here, is Boonesboro. I should have known that. Boonesboro, Maryland is the next East Coast Pullers LLC's event. Boonesboro, Maryland, out towards Hagerstown Way, if nobody knows. And I'm not sure what sled we're going to have there yet. I don't know. We don't have like a little thing on there it's not on the schedule what sled, so I don't know. I don't have a set sled schedule. You just go there, find out, I guess. So, but anyhow, we'll go down to this cord, I'm telling you. We'll go down to Pocomoke results, starting off with the East Coast Diesel-sponsored Pro Stock Diesel 4-wheel drive class. That is your pickup truck class. Everybody should know it, I hope. First place, bringing home the win, was Mr. Norman Newswanger again. Well, he's doing really well this year, with the Chapter 11 Ford at 310.99 feet. Second place, Mr. Andrew Grove with the Bad Timing Dodge, 297.88. Third place, James Barder with Barder Turbo Service at 286.04. Mr. John Manns, he showed up to play with the Crazy X Ford at 285.07, which was a good run, fourth place run for him. DOT tire truck, not a cut tire truck. Mr. Jay Hill, another DOT tire truck with the It's Never Enough Dodge for fifth place at 283.29. Sixth place, Mr. Carl Ankowitz, Living on the Edge Dodge at 277.34. Mr. Kervin Zimmerman with the Overdose Dodge, 273.16. And Mr. Chris Mast with the Skeeter Control Dodge, 231.93. And Mr. Chris Mast, I feel for that man. He puts together a great truck, great running truck. Oh, there goes my screen. Hang on. Make sure my camera didn't screw up. Let me refresh this real quick before I get into poor Mr. Chris Mast. All right, come on, baby. Let's go over here. Get this back up, and we'll flop it back over again. All right. I see we're gonna be going through this a little bit, and that's gonna get fixed, or me and VMix are gonna be going round and round. But anyhow, Mr. Chris Mast, he runs great when he runs great, but there's so many. Every time he goes out, every other time he goes out, there's something that plagues that poor guy. And I mean, he's a really cool dude. I've ever since I met him at Blue Ball years ago, when I didn't even have a larger small block in my truck. I mean, he's always been a really, really decent guy, everything else, and he just has he's one of them guys, he gets that tough luck award. Things just plague him. I mean, I think he popped a hose in that event. He was on a really good hook, and all of a sudden, poof, there it went. And it's just a shame. I mean, I guess you have years like that. I guess I'm having a year like that too, but it just stinks. And what are you going to do? You can't really do much about it, but I mean, but he keeps coming back, so give it to him on that one. But moving on, we're going to head to Hot Farm. And in my videos, I have, what do you call them? Little, like, I don't want to call it a subtitle, but whatever's on the, whatever you want to call it that's on there. Naming a tractor, the driver, the distance, on the videos when they pop up. Ray Norris's two tractors were down in Pocomoke City for the 466 Hot Farm, and that's the class we're going to head to. Davey Moore was running both the tractors. I don't know why. I didn't ask. I wasn't really worried about it, but just so you know, they are Ray Norris's tractors, but Davey Moore was operating them that night. So just keep that in mind when the videos pop up that both Ray Norris was Mr. Davey Moore piloting both of those John Deeres. But talking about Davey Moore with the on Ray Norris's tractors, placing first was Davey Moore on the Packin Heat John Deere at 321.83. Second place, Mr. Robert Saathoff with the Family Affair John Deere, 315.29. Third place, Mr. Jeff Turner, the Frustrated Farmer, the IH 1066 at 315.07. Fourth place, Nick Morrison with Toxic IH, 304.05. John Schwaniger brings home the can't even talk. Brings home a 5th place with the Addicted IH at 300.32. 6th place goes to Paul Richardson with the buzzard bait, the Oliver with a Cummins diesel in it at 296.32. 7th place, Paul Richardson with Venomous Alice Chalmers, 281.28. 8th place, Davey Moore with the well-armed John Deere at 279.11. And poor Mr. Jeff King with the High Cotton IH, he hooked and broke. I don't know what happened on the line. He had a little bit of trouble, so we don't have a distance for him, but he's still hanging in there to points, so if he could bring it back in, and I'd like to see it. I talked to Jeff down in Fishersville, our first event of the season, and first time really actually meeting and talking to him, and he's just cool. He is a cool guy, helpful. He was out there on the track after he got his suit off, and like I've said this before on one of my past shows, he was out there in a set of shorts and a pair of Crocs, those things that I don't wear, and he's out there. There were some guys that had rough rides. He's helping them, hooking up, to machines, pulling them off the track. One guy dropped some weights. The front end just came down, bounced around, dumped some weights on the ground. He's picking them back up, putting them on the tractor for him. Heck of a guy. I mean, all the competitors are, and they're all out there. But, Jeff just sticks out. I kind of did like a little quick interview with him, and, he's a really cool guy, so I hope he can come back and bring that up. I really hope. But moving on to the modified tractors, Pocomoke City. First place, Len Brookhart with the Radial reactor brings it home with his Curtis Wright R3350 engine, the big radial motor on there. You can't miss the tractor. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, learn it. But he brought it home at a 355.74 for the win. Second place, Mr. Randy Davis with the Running Bear with 2 Hemis on it, 330.40. Third place, Mr. Jason Mckenzie with the Never Satisfied, another one with dual Hemis on it at 327.85. Fourth place, Philip Jones, the Attitude Adjuster with 3 Chevy motors, 302.46 for a distance. Fifth place, Tim Robinson with the Phony Express. I think he's got, he's got 3 Chevys on it at 299.67. And sixth place, Miss Courtney Robinson with the Phony Farmer, DQ'd for going out of bounds. She tractor got a little crazy on her there, and it just went out. She was just about had it stopped, and it was just over the line. So, another tough luck award on that one, but she's been doing pretty good this year. I mean, really stepping it up. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't even know if we're just barely touching halfway through. So when I get to the points thing, I mean, all this can change, but it's getting pretty tight. Moving on to two-wheel drive. Two-wheel drive super mods, whatever you want to call them, blown motors, you know what they are. First place goes to Steve Wilson with the Running Bear at 306.36. Second place, Ervin Clark with Taz Toy at 299.07 for a distance. Third place, Miss Crystal Wilson with her Dirty Money at 297.05. Fourth place is Clarence Tipton with the Wild and Blue. It's a C-Cab Ford at 292.59. Fifth place goes to Clarence Tipton with Tipton's Toy, 1935 Ford at 291.61. Sixth place, Daryl Battle. Woo. Yeah, say that 10 times fast. With the Tickin' Chicken, it's a 1950 Chevy at 142.81. And Trent Best with the Best Bet T-Bucket with the turbocharged motor, not blown, at 69.03. Turbos just they're spooling, but it just seems like the pop-off valve keeps popping off. There goes my screen again. You got to be kidding me. Every time I get to want to talking about something, it keeps doing this. Do. Boom, there we go again. Now we got it. Wonder if my phone's making noise because I can hear myself kind of. It's kind of funny, actually. Something's feeding back. I don't know what. Yeah, the wife's over there like through the window being like, "Yeah, it's not going." And it's like, yeah, it is. I got this. Come on now, woman. But anyway, well, I think that's the last. Yep, this will be the last class of the night. Was well, I shouldn't say the night. I'm not in order of how they ran at night, but Super Stock Pro Stock Tractors. First place goes to Mr. Tommy Bedgar with the Patriot with 312.13. Second place, Mr. Kevin Windsor with the 6-shooter, 290.78. Both of those tractors are alcohol-burning tractors, so it must have been an alky night. Third place, Mr. Robert Martin with That Darn Deer at 290.32. Fourth place, Davey Moore with One More Deer, 281.43. Fifth place, Robert Martin, John Deere Green, 270.58. Sixth place, Ed Ammons with the Redline Harvester, 265.41. And 7th place was Tara Moore with the More Agitation John Deere at 263.85. And there was Matt Aldivator. I think I said his name right. He was an exhibition only with an AGCO, and I don't have a distance for that, but he ran. He gets credit for running. That's at least how I play the game. But there's your rundown for Pocomoke. These papers need to find a home. I got a lot of them tonight. But like I said, Pocomoke was awesome. I mean, the track was, to me, it looked good. I don't know. Like I said, again, I didn't pull on it, but it was a fun event, just awesome place. Other than the humidity, if it wasn't that humid, that was the only thing that I can gripe about was humidity. But you can't blame that on anybody. Well, yeah, you can, Mother Nature. But other than that, it was an awesome event. Before the screen freezes up again, let me find. Oh, I didn't put my ticker up yet. I'm screwing up left and right again. Let me find my winner's circle. We'll cue that over. Anybody listening to this just by audio tonight, you will be able to hear it. On a playback, I guess my Facebook ain't running. Oh, there we go. Now I'm moving. Ooh, I might have to change that. I look like kind of like it's not moving too good. I don't know what's going on over there with the Facebook. I really don't. Well, I might have to change some. There goes my screen again. That's why. All right. Well, we're just going to roll right over to the videos. But when this goes audio on the radio station, if I ever get that hooked up, you will not be able to hear the tractor part of it. So, basically these videos, I haven't figured out how to do that. But without further ado. is my fault right there. I'm hitting the wrong mouse. I got too many mice. There's our major screw up of the night. There's always got to be one. But other than, well, you can blame the program for the freezing. That ain't me. Or at least I don't think it's me. Anyway, back to it. There's your video clips, your top 3 from the 5 classes that ran at the Pocomoke City, Maryland Pull. Like I said again, East Coast Pullers LLC. That's who I follow, who I'm with, and that's who you're going to hear about. I mean, that's as simple as that. Like I said, I mean, you've seen the footage of some awesome runs that night. I mean, I was having a blast just taking pictures, not having to worry about a truck pulling, whatever. I mean, I need to hit more of the events if I can, if they don't double stack, to try to get there where I don't have my truck, just because it's just a blast being able to do the photo stuff, to do the just being there, be able to watch the event and not have to run around like a nut like I usually have to. I mean, put it that way. So, I mean, like I said, great event down there. If anybody's never been down there, take the trip. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. All the pulls are great, but I mean, maybe it's just because it's new and it's fresh to me. I don't know. But excuse me. Well, here we go. Oh, let me get something to drink here. I'm yapping. Here, we got peach tonight. Oh, delicious. That might work. I'll give you a half an hour time. Anyhow, I guess we ought to move to Shippensburg, or else we're not going to have any time for the call-in. If anybody is out there that wants to call in, I mean, we're getting there. But real quick, like I said, Pocomoke was awesome. Let's move on to Shippensburg. Shippensburg, well, before I get into the results, well, that track surprised the crap out of me. I mean, it was a power track. Before we got there goes my screen. Thank you. Yeah, you piece of junk. What are you doing? Stop playing games with me. All right, let's see. Let's see how long I can move for. Anyway, put that up there. That track turned into a major power track, sticky, awesome track. It looked like it was rough, awesome track. I wish I didn't do what I did to the truck. For my pull, we'll go on that real quick. It was disappointing to me. I was highly upset at what I did. I decided to put more hook in the truck to see what it would do. Lower tire pressure in the front, a little more hitch angle, and it definitely added to the truck. Front end was, it was just destroying the bite in the front end. I mean, it was killing it, except for my power level. That was killing me. But it was definitely put, even though my pressures are high compared to them guys, I mean, it was low to me usually with a cut tire. But just that one notch higher in that hitch, I can watch the video of that truck where that front end did not pick like it usually does. Usually my truck will pick on a tight track. It will pick and it will go level with a little bit of higher on the left-hand side. That track picked that left-hand side, but with that hitch adjustment, that front end never came level. It stayed pitched down to the front. And right then and there, I mean, I left the line about 7,200 RPM, and she about held 7 to 71 down the track, never got higher, and it usually runs about 8, if not a little bit more. And it never even wanted to go that high. And I had it to the wood. And I'm like, well, we made a mistake, but awesome track. I mean, absolutely awesome track. I mean, they did a great job. I mean, they had a pretty good amount of rain from what I heard. Right before I got there, I mean, things were wet. They were kind of putting stone down just to make sure everything would happen. Basically building a driveway because it got a little muddy. Other than that, though, the weather cleared up, event turnout, spectator turnout was phenomenal. I mean, both sides just packed the place. So, awesome event at Shippensburg. First time there, and I tell you what, the East Coast stuff just blows my mind. I guess maybe it's just, I mean, I'm not used to this level. This is new to me. I mean, I'm not technically at the level, but I'm in it, so to say. Well, you go to Shippensburg, and before the event, they feed you. I mean, they had hot dogs, hamburgers, and it was all the pit side for the crews and stuff in that area. And they do the same thing at the Buck at the end of the year. The final pull at the Buck, they do their little cookout thing at the end where, they got, you can have a beer or two. I mean, usually somebody's got it there, or BYOB, whatever you want to call it, but after the event, not when you're pulling. That's one thing I'm pretty much firm on. No drinking before and no drinking during. If you want to drink after the pull, hey, that's on you, but never mix alcohol in motorsports. That's just a no-no, and I stand by that. I like my beer, but not during those times. But anyhow, they had macaroni salad. They had a sloppy Joe type thing in there. They had a fried chicken. The chicken was phenomenal. I mean, I actually had I was wondering if I could actually get in the truck and drive it. I loaded way too much. It was a little bit too early of a meal for me, but it was delicious, but phenomenal that the promoters and everybody puts that stuff forward, and that's taking care of the pullers. You take care of your fans, you take care of the track, you do what you have to do as a promoter, but that's taking that next level. It's really taking it a step above, and, thank them guys down there. I don't know exactly who put that on as the promoter. I should have looked that up or asked a question, but it was just great. It was actually it was a great event. It was kind of funny. The width of my truck, I probably shouldn't put this out there, but the width of the front of my truck, because I have that dually front axle when I was running DOT tire classes. Now, the rims that I got for a screaming deal. I couldn't pass them up, so my front end sticks way wide. It's what? Really? There it goes again. But it sticks out really, really wide, and it's not I wouldn't say it's so much as I don't know if you want to call it, it's not a bad thing, but let me try to get this over here. I'm trying to talk and do this. Whoa, hey, slow down. I don't want that. That's not supposed to happen. This thing is going all sorts of goofy on me tonight. I don't know what its deal is. Come on, screen. Oh, now it really wants to screw around with me. All right. Give me 1 second here, folks. We're going to fix this thing's butt. Uh-oh. Nah, something else happened to this thing now. I don't know if I'm going to get my face back on it, which might not be a bad thing for you guys out there. But, yeah, that's a little annoying. Oh, it's offline. Oh, maybe if I paid attention to things. Here we go again with this stuff. HDMI video, we can get rid of that. Shippensburg. There is just way too much stuff for me to handle on my own anymore. I'm trying to get. I don't know if you want to say I'm getting a little too fancy for my britches or what. I don't know what you want to call it, but there we go. There's that. And input. We'll try this one more time. Work, please work. Do your thing, baby. Oh yeah, there we go. I got it to work. Look at that. IT guy. But anyhow. Enough with everything, all that crap. We'll just call it there. We'll get down to the overview of it and move on to the video. That way you can watch something other than this. So anyhow, we'll start off. Like I said, not in the order of the classes how they pulled, just how it prints. First one we're going to do is East Coast Diesel Pro Stock Diesel 4-wheel drive trucks. The pickup trucks again. First place, Mr. Carl Ankowitz put down a pass, and I don't mean a pass. He laid it down, held the win. If I'm trying to think, if he was one of the first pullers in the class. He held it for a length of time. I forget. He picked 41. Make sure. He would have been, I think, third puller in the class. And, I mean, he laid it down. But anyway, Carl Ankowitz with the Living on the Edge Dodge at 331.78 for the win. Second place was John Mans with the, it came back, not the same owner. John Mans was driving the truck. I'm not exactly sure who the owner is, but the ranch hand, if anybody remembers it, has been sold, and it is back on the track. And they pulled off a second place at 331.48. Third place, Mr. Andrew Grove with the Bad Timing Dodge at 327.19. Fourth place, Norman Newswanger at Chapter 11 Ford, 325.91. Fifth place, James Barder with the Barder Turbo Service, 324.13. Sixth place, I'm going to hack this guy's name. I do it every time. Chris Stashin. I'm not sure if there's another syllable in there or not, but we're just going to roll with that. But with Dodge Cummins, 317.82. Seventh place, Chris Mast with the Skeeter Control Dodge, 316.91. Eighth place, Mr. Jay Hill with It's Never Enough at 312.43. Ninth place, John Mans, again, with his truck, Crazy X Ford with the Cummins in it, 312.34. 10th place, Mark Andrews with Public Enemy Dodge, 305.53. And Mr. Kervin Zimmerman with the Overdose Dodge, 273.31. And real quick, here we go again. Real quick with Mr. Kervin Zimmerman, he went down the track. I guess he's playing around with the truck, playing around with fuel and all. And I guess he must have done, I don't know if he done something wrong or if he did something just not the right adjustment. I'm not sure what he did, but he had to pick a lower gear. That truck went down that track and that lower gear just a screaming. I mean, he had me scared. I'm like, dude, that motor is just going to go but it held together. So, I mean, I was nervous. I mean, he must have some stuff into that motor pretty good, because I mean, it was just screaming. The fuel was getting light. You could see the smoke coming out of it was on a lighter side. I mean, it was revving, and I mean, I was nervous, but he pulled it off. You know, I mean, it's still running. I think he can live to fight another day. But moving on to the hot rod semis that ran. That is the hot rod semis. I don't know if you want to call it a national circuit, but it's they're not your. I don't want to say it's not our usual, but they come out here a couple times. But I mean, they'll float back over to Indiana. I don't really know how to describe the class, but it's your bigger semi class. We'll call it that. But anyhow, first place, Mr. Richard Bonner with the Maximus Prime Mac at 289.39. Second place, Mr. Evan Moser with the Magnum Force Mac at 267.80. Third place, Mr. Ed Tilman with Bits and Pieces Mac at 257.75. Fourth place, Casey Smith with Nicky's Nightmare. That can't be right. Middlefield, Ohio? Maybe I don't know if maybe it's another one called that. I don't know, but it's 89 KW Cummins. So I'm going off of their sheet, so they're probably right. I'm probably wrong. But anyhow, Casey Smith comes in fourth at 226.12. Fifth is Dale Francis with Maximus Prime 2 at 199.33. I don't know if he had a water injection or a turbo problem. It spooled, but it kept cutting up and down, so that's why he ended up there. And sixth place was Lou Shangle with the Black Sheep Dodge at 34.44. Truck just never took off. It's been plaguing him. Both times that I've seen the hot rod semis run, that truck's had the same plaguing problem. I think the first time it seemed like the water injection was coming in too quick when it was down at Boonesboro. Now this time we got black smoke, but it just never lit. So I'm not sure. Another one, tough luck award on that, where it just them plaguing problems, and it's like I said, they'll get it. It's just you want to see. I mean, I want to see everybody get down the track. Put it that way. So it's kind of, I don't want to overemphasize on it or overtalk it. It's just, it sucks. Put it that way. But moving on to Super Stock Pro Stock Tractors, Mr. Chris Hoyt. All right. Not, let me think. It would be Ryan, I think it is, that would usually drive the Nutcase case tractor. The old man decided, if I could call him that, the old man decided to get up on the tractor, I guess show the boys how it's done. Well, he did it. Chris Hoyt comes in first place with the 970 case of his at 343.71. Mr. Davey Moore brings home second place, one more deer, with 325.61 feet. Third place, Josh Martin with Think Green John Deere, 324.46. Tim Ammons brings home fourth place with the Ultimate Harvester at 317.57. Fifth place, Robert Martin, John Deere Green at 311.75. Kevin Windsor with the six-shooter brings home sixth place with the 310 and 66. Tommy Bedgar with the Patriot, 308.82 for seventh place. Chris Hoyt with the case pending, eighth place, 307.12. Ninth place, Robert Martin at Darn Deere, 306.53. 10th place, Tara Moore with More Agitation at 305.37. Brandy Martin comes with the Dairy Deer at 304.23. Ed Ammons, Redline Harvester for 12th place at 296.85. And 13th came Philip Price with the Antrim Tantrum IH at 265.86. And I don't think there was really anything really majorly, no problems really in that class. So that was good. I mean, they all ran. So as far as I remember, it was actually a pretty good class. So yeah, not much to talk about other than, I mean, there were some really good runs. I mean, all the tractors were up there. For the most part, where the heck did it go? All the distances, I mean, poor Tara came in 10th. I don't know what happened. I mean, it seemed like she had a good run, but I mean, they were close though. 343, Chris Hoyt ran out there like he left the field. Davey Brent 325. I mean, he was hooking and booking, getting down. I mean, he had a run the same. Then Josh Martin right behind Davey from 325.61 to 324.46. I mean, that's nothing. Then it goes down 317, 311, 310, 308, 307, 306, and then 305. So everybody had a decent run. It just that tiny little bit is just what made the difference. So I mean, really tight class, awesome class that night. I mean, it was kind of flip flopped where that 30-inch tire on your alcohol super stocks, that loose track, they can get something. They can get a hold of it, and they can kind of get an edge on the 24-inch tire, pro stock tractors. But when you get on that certain tracks, that 24-inch tire is the tire to have, and it really shined there at Shippensburg on that tight track. They were able to get down, hunker down in it, and just grab hold of something and really get it down the track. So it's really interesting. A lot of people look at the sport of pulling like, oh, you just got a tractor, a truck, you're going down the track. There's so much more to it. And right there, between the two tires, how much of a change it can make. And you see, I mean, Tommy Bedgar and Kevin Windsor are both super stock alcohol tractors, 30-inch wide tire. They were right near each other. Let's go back real quick. I don't want to waste too much time on it. I wouldn't say waste, but we've got other agendas, and I just don't want to burn up everything. But they were at 3:10.66, 3:08.82. I mean, right for the most part, right on top of each other. But their 24-inch tires were just going out the gate. So, it's anybody's game. There's a lot to it. I mean, just a lot to it. So anybody out there who's new into pulling, which probably half the people watching me are not new into it, but, I see comments. But, I mean, there's just so much. Oh, Tara said that the food, when I was commenting about getting fed, because I like to eat, food was supplied by the Antrim Diesel and the Martin family. That's right. That's right. I forgot all about it. Thank you for clarifying that and keeping me on my toes here. So thanks, huge Antrim Diesel and the Martin family. Excellent food. I cannot say enough about it. It was delicious. I mean, a really great job. I really appreciate it. Never have it at Pulls. I've never had it. It's like walking into like a King's buffet. It was great. Let's see. Tara also said, Love's sled is at Richard Love's decision maker will be at Boonesboro. So, all right, now we know the sled. I keep clicking on stuff. Josh, Buzzard? I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I hope I am. Said Davey Moore could drive with the best of them. More motorsports is the whole reason he attends the Pulls. Well, there you go. There's a pick-me-up for the night. Don't forget Tara. You can't forget her. I mean, you get her. Like I said, I'll move on to four-wheel drive here in a second, but she gets in the zone in that tractor and just runs the piss out of it. So it's amazing. You can't count her out. I mean, I don't know what, at the beginning of the year, she was like just banging them out, and they had a turbo problem, and ever since then, it's like she's there. I mean, she's in contention. Don't get me wrong, but it's not something's just not the same. I don't know what yet. So, but they'll pick it back up. They ain't done. They don't come to just play like I do. So, anyhow, moving on to the four-wheel drive trucks. Run through this so we can get to the video and get on with some other fun stuff. Hopefully, some fun stuff. First place, Mr. Dan Savage with the Badass Chevy. Badass. I said S. I didn't cuss. All right. 312.02 brings home the win. Second place, Mr. Jacob Cramer with the Supernatural brings a 305.07 feet. Third place, Billy Cramer, the brother, with the Contender Chevrolet, 302.14. Fourth place, Mr. Wayne Tapscott II, Tasmanian Terror, 297.79. Fifth place, Ross Borger with Summertime Blues at 296.59. Sixth place, Kevin Abshire with Gone AWOL, 295.40. Seventh place, Mr. Dan Savage again with his other truck, the Mr. Chevy. I love saying that. 291.22 to Mr. Chevy. I'm going to turn that into a song because I do these things. But eighth place, Mr. Timmy Varner with Risky Business Chevrolet, 291.18. Something screwed up there. No, I got it. I can read. Ninth place, Mr. John Dugan with Damage Plan Ford, 289.89. 10th place, Mr. Michael Omps with the Green Machine at 289.40. 11th place, Troy Nails with the Killin' Time Chevrolets, 288.71. 12th place, Dennis Grove, the Mountain Mule Chevrolet, 287.13. 13th place, Glenn Dugan with the White Horse Ford, 286.12. 14th, Miss Charmaine Clark. Woo! Boy, I don't know why any other time I could say her name, but anyhow, with the Snap-on Chevrolet at 278.50. 15th, Mr. Carl Barnhart. If I said his name right, I'm saying it how I can say it. I just screwed up. There we go. With the Midlife Crisis Ford at 264.16. And yours truly, with the Temper Tantrum Chevrolet, brought home 16th place at 2:47.09. So that's why I said it was a very disappointing pull. I screwed myself up. So can't blame nobody but me. It was the wrong track to try more bite, we'll put it that way. So if I left it alone, it probably would have been better. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, I acquired points. I'm having fun just trying to chase. Not even chase people to beat the points. I just need something to chase, and that's what keeps me going. So we'll go back. We'll try some stuff and see where we go. I'm thinking about just taking the hook back out of the truck, maybe, and just doing something different. I have no clue what to do really yet, and I'll figure it out when I get to the next track. So I'll get down to the points real quick. I'll do top 3 in the points, though I don't run all these down. Like to go through all of them and talk about it for the rest of the night, but like I said, if anybody actually wants to call in, if not, we can talk about it. I don't mind. But the 4x4 pickup trucks, in first place is the Cramer with Supernatural at 232 points. Tasmanian Terror 2 is in second with 230 points, and the Bad S Chevrolet is 218. So, like I said, the between Supernatural and Tasmanian Terror, between Cramer and Tapscott, 232 and 30. You got 2 points right there. That's a flip-flop in one event. I mean, one place. Boom, boom. So, it's like I said, we're in that class. We're getting close. We're almost about halfway through the hooks of the year. So, I mean, anything can change. You know this. So, but I'm just giving you standings midway just to give you a little bit of information. Now, the Pro Stock Super Stock Tractor, Davey Moore, the One More Deer, is sitting in first place at 382 points. Robert Martin. Should be Robert Martin with that darn deer, 352. So Davey's got a cushion, if you want to say it. But Miss Tara Moore with the More Agitation John Deere is sitting at 348. That's 4 points behind Robert Martin. So she's on his tail. So if Tara can really get some more nasty hooks under her belt, she's going to be right there nipping at his heels. So, she ain't letting him run away, not yet. So it'll be there's a lot of interesting. I mean, there's even more to go down, and like I said, I want to get to them, but I just can't right now. But closer to the end of the year, we'll really push that. But two-wheel drive, they've had one hook so far. The next one is in Easton, Maryland, at Tuckahoe, like I was talking about before. So far, you got Running Bear. Mr. Wilson is in first place. Taz Toy is in second place with 48 points, and Her Dirty Money. Third place, 46. So, of course, 222. It's the first hook. So, that one there, not a lot to talk about, but that's where they stand for the top 3. East Coast Diesel Pro Stock 4-wheel drive pickup trucks. Mr. Norman Newswanger with the Chapter 11 truck. He's still sitting in first place at 292. 92. Remember that. Andrew Grove with the Bad Timing is sitting in second place at 290. Another 2-point difference. So, they got to keep their stuff up. They're about halfway through the season, getting there. One more hook, and I think it'll make about halfway. So, right there, I mean, they're on top of each other. One screw up, a couple runs that are screwed up. I mean, it's going to go back and forth. And then James Barder with the Barder Turbo Service Ford is sitting in third place at 272. So, he's still in striking distance, but he's got some ground to make up right there. But like I said, still got time. So, anything's possible. Mod Tractor, the Radial Reactor of Len Brookhart, is sitting in first place at 246. Jason Mckenzie with Never Satisfied, sitting at 242. Not far off either, 4-point difference. And Philip Jones with the Attitude Adjuster is at 224. So Jason's got a little cushion there, but, I tell you, Philip Jones is he spent some good money on the tractor this past winter. I seen some new stuff on that chassis. So he's doing good. He's keeping consistent. So, I mean, whether he's going to end up getting up there to having contention for the first, second, I mean, he's up there. So you don't know. I mean, anything is possible. But, I mean, he's doing pretty good where he's at. I mean, third place, I think he's going to hold it, if not do better. I mean, I wouldn't say he's stepping up his game. He's always had a game. But he's consistent where he's at. He's doing really well. But now the Hot Rod Semis, they have had 3 runs so far this year. The Maximus Prime 1 Bonner is at 142. Magnum Force Mac is at 138. Was at striking distance again. Now all 3 are in striking distance. That's what's cool with this class so far, but they got a lot to go. Maximus Prime 2 is at 136. Now let's go to fourth place. The Black Sheep truck, even though they've had problems, they've shown up, and they're at 132. So only 10 points between first and fourth. So if the black sheep truck starts to get running and running really good, things could really mix up there too. So that's getting exciting. 466 hot farm tractors. There's a little bit of runaway, but this one I got to run down a little bit. Your Addicted International is at 142 in first place. Packin Heat is at 140. Ray Norris tractor that Davey was driving. The High Cotton is at 120. Okay, now 140, 142, all right, they're tight. Now 120, I don't know if that's supposed to be 120 or... It printed out 120, but then there's 127 underneath it, so I don't know what happened there. But anyway, you got Frustrated Farmer is saying third place at 120, but I'm not sure what happened. Where's that? Frustrated Farmer is at... Hang on, I'm screwing up all over here. All right, High Cotton's supposed to be at 120, it says, but I think that's got to be 130. Then 127. I don't know how we have an odd number. 37 points? Well, their points must be different. I don't know. That's odd. Anyhow, we're just going to roll with it. But there's 127, 120, and 123. I'm going down to Family Affair missed the ones that are a little bit lower, but to the Toxic and the Buzzard Bait. So all those right there, I mean, that's another class that's tight in the points. Points is tight. But when you see the class run, they're on top of each other every single time. I mean, it is a driving class. You better have your stuff right. So that one there I'm a little confused on, but we'll figure it out. But the Pro Stock Semi, they ran 3 times. There were supposed to be 4, but one got rained out. Pressure Time is still in first place. I think that's Jeremy Greek. I didn't write the names down. But he's at 148. Back in Black Mac is at 136, and Inconvenience is at 94. Didn't show up to the first one on the Inconvenience. That's where it's set back. But 136 and 148. So they're back. They're pretty close. Inconvenience is Martin's truck, the gray Freightliner split window. Very good running truck, and if he keeps showing up for the rest of the season, I mean, he's only at 94 right now, but he can make some ground up. I mean, I don't think those other two trucks, I don't think Pressure Time Back in Black are going to miss an event, but anything is possible. So that's it for the points. Like I said, I really want to go deeper in them, but I'm burning up stuff here. But before I get into the call-in, if anybody actually decides to dial the number, I never even put the ticker up still. I tell you what, man, I'm losing it. Which one? That was supposed to be up for most of the night, but I keep forgetting about this stuff. But anyhow, we'll move on to the video if I can find it here. This is Shippensburg's Winner's Circle from this weekend's past event, and like I said, awesome track. One of these days, I hope I make it in this video. I can't even put myself in my own video. You know, how sad is that? But well, hopefully one day it'll happen. But you know, I ain't gonna do it just because it's me. It's just not right. So here it is. We'll get this baby popped up here and enjoy it. Some parts, think about it. There you are. Oh, I sound a little loud there. I don't know what I did. There we go. Let's fix that. All right. So, that was Shippensburg. Like I said, my first time being at that track. Heck of a track. I mean, it was... What do we got here? It was absolutely awesome. I mean, I wish I did better, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, there ain't no changing, ain't no going back. Like I said, I got some videos and stuff that I have to hack up so I can put them up, but put this up here real quick. Right there, Mr. Jerry Richardson, as I always say, in front of me, when you see me, is his DVDs that I talk about all the time. He's got good stuff. He's our local guy. He puts the stuff together, and like I said, from history to the present stuff, all that stuff you could get from him. Right now, he's having some sort of a computer issue like I'm having. I think it's the year for everybody to screw up our computers to where he's got to do something, recode a lot of things. So he's going to be on a little bit of a setback, but you can still get stuff from him that he has from. I think you could still get stuff. I think it's something just on the ordering. I mean, you have to check with him. I don't want to say too much and screw it all up, but check with him, Eastern Extreme Pulling, for all your videos. He covers just about every single East Coast event. And like I said, he's got history of stuff. He's got the Keystone. He's got oops videos, things where you see things catching on fire and blowing up. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, I like to watch it for the safety aspect of it, and it is exciting. Excuse me. I don't like to see it on the pullers side of things where, you'd never want to see, you don't want anybody's, I don't know what word I'm groping for here, but you don't want to see it happen to anybody, and any of that stuff. I mean, it does happen. It happens time to time, but the safety stuff that you could see how it works when you watch those videos, and that's why I like them. You could actually see the evolution of the safety stuff because it goes back with old footage and new footage. It's really cool. So, if anything, get the oops videos. He's got I got volume 1 through 6 is sitting right there. That's this little critter right there. And I have, I don't know if it's in here. Nah, it must be somewhere else. I have the 7 through 12, and he did another one this year and came out with 13 now. So there is plenty of footage to watch. So definitely check it out. Before we go on that, put this up here. So if you're looking for the pulls, that is the insignia you want to look for. That is what I pull with. That is what I cover here for the most part. Mike Walker said 13 in all on the, what do you call it? Oh, and you been on it? Oh, apparently I'm on it. Yeah, that's probably the Keystone one where my transmission decided to let loose. So, I'm going to have to get 13 just to check that out and be like, hey, I'm famous. But anyway, I was going to turning in late. I don't know what else I'm saying, kind of turning in late. Oh, tuning in late. No, I can't read. But, Trying to check comments too. But anyway, let me get back to East Coast Pullers here before we kind of shed off of that topic. East Coast Pullers, I mean, look them up online. They're scheduled. They're on Facebook. Got a lot of photos, a lot of stuff on Facebook. Schedule and everything that you would need, all your nitty-gritty stuff, point standings, results, can be found at East Coast Pullers LLC, lowercase, all one big word, eastcoastpullersllc.com. I usually put the link on my somewhere on my page. If you look on Spinnin N Grinnin page on the show days, I always put the link on the bottom. So all you got to do is boom, click on it, you're there. You can find out all the dates, what classes are pulling at what events, if they're near you or event that you want to hit. So check them out. Definitely check them out. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Let's figure out where I want to go now. Let's go back to me. You can look at me for a little bit. Before we get into the call-in thing, if anybody wants to call, I'll put that up here in a second. Want to cover a fun fact that I learned this weekend. Anybody out there that follows East Coast Puller PPL Series, part of the Pro Polling League, just a little info. They were the very first, I guess you can say, branch from PPL's main stuff that they run out west. They were the first ones to branch off as a, I don't know what you want to call it, like a little subsidiary, whatever. I don't even know if that's the right word. But I'm not that smart. But they were the first branch. So if here's the PPL tree, here's East Coast, the first one off on the side. So that is actually a pretty cool, to me that's pretty cool because they've been doing it. They were the first ones to get involved in it and do this stuff. So they got the experience, they got the know-how. I mean, they put it together and it's working. So just a little fun fact there for you. I mean, I never knew that before. So something, it's just something a little bit different. I mean, whether it makes your night or not, maybe you sleep better. I don't know. But anyhow, a lot of thanks to some people I'm going to cover. Eastern Extreme Pulling, they help me out with stuff. I'm not saying this is sponsored and stuff like that, but just support of the show and pulling and stuff like that. Eastern Extreme has been there. I can't even talk. Truckpullers.com. If you're a truck puller, and it's a site. Truckpullers.com is a site for the puller. Not so much the fan, but for the puller. They're the guy, Chad Embry, he's helping me out with stuff, computer stuff. He's very good with it. But that site, check them out. There's forums on there. There's chats. There's information, insights, questions. There's even a spot that you can get in there and make your own club, your own little group within the site. It's a really cool thing. I'm digging into it more and more, and the more I dig, the more fun it gets. It's a little confusing to me because I'm not very good with it, but, I mean, definitely check. If you're into the truck pulling thing, truckpullers.com. It's really cool, and he keeps adding stuff here and there, so it's getting better and better. One guy I have to throw out there, I don't know if he wants his name out there, but I talk to him more and more at the polls, and I see him at the East Coast polls, but Mr. Ed Preston, he is the chaplain of, and a part of the Christian Motorsports International Family Ministries. Awesome dude. I mean, just cool as anything. Talk to you. I mean, he gave me, and I got it sitting right here. I still have it in the box so it doesn't get dirty or nothing. He actually set it in my truck with 2 drinks. He has like these little energy drinks that are really good. If you read the, the ingredients on them. I haven't tried them yet, but I will. But gave me a new Bible, which is awesome. And I'll put it out there. You know, this is my show. That's the way it works. So really cool guy. I mean, into the motorsport stuff, travels all over the place, and he's actually up the road from me, up in PA. He's not very far away, so it's a really cool, great guy. I just had to put him out there. Huge thanks. I mean, he's more mental support when I'm in the dumps of stuff. I could talk to him, and I mean, he's just great. I mean, really great guy. So thanks for him being there. I mean, he does, like, if you want to say the invocations or the prayer before the polls, he does at certain polls, and really, really great guy. Excellent. If you ever see him there, it's actually I don't know if I put it on one of the pages. I put I think it's on the Desperate Measures page, the fish, as I call it. I don't know if there's probably a different name, but it says RFC in the middle of it. It's if you ever see him with that insignia on the, I think it's on the Desperate Measures page, if I remember right. Let me check. Yeah, it's on the Desperate Measures polling team page, the insignia that you're going to see on his shirt. If he's ever walking around a poll, I mean, I don't want to say, everybody crowd the guy. I mean, give him his space, but awesome guy. Meet him, shake his hand, thank him for what he does. He's a wonderful, wonderful asset to have at the events. It's great. But anyhow, a couple other things to go on. Kraus sled rental, like I said, was excellent. Did a great job. Past 3 pulls that I've been at the events with East Coast, they did good. We're going to have Love's Decision Maker be back at Boonesboro, and then we'll figure out from there. Pro Pulling Magazine. If you ain't got it, subscribe to this thing. I love it. It covers, even the East Coast stuff is in there, and I mean, it's getting better, and I'm liking it more and more that it's actually in there, because that's what we have here. That's my home for PPL, if you want to call it that. So, but there's one of the newest ones that came up, if anybody could see it. There it is. Got all their advertisements, Protect the Harvest. This one here, I think, has Keystone in it. And it also has Fishersville. And my name's actually in the book, even though I came down towards the end of the line, but, which is usual. I mean, I know where I'm at. But I'm actually in the book. My name's in there. I ain't got a picture yet, because I don't know if anybody wants to see the truck, but, I'm just excited. This is one of them ones you got to frame, stick that baby up on the wall, because I'm excited to actually, have a mention in the book. So really cool. I mean, big things are happening. I mean, that's huge for me. I mean, I'm loving it. I mean, I can retire now. It's like, cool, made the magazine, Picture would be better, so I got to get on Jerry on that, send a picture in. But, one of these days maybe. But anyhow, check them out. It's 6 issues a year, because it's Poland's only seasonal, so you can't expect all that much. But great reading stuff, great on the bathroom. I mean, if you're one of them guys that want to sit in the bathroom and use it as a library, I mean, it's excellent reading material, great stuff in there, advertisements, everything. Check them out, Pro Poland Magazine. Go on the Lucas Oil site. It's somewhere on there. I can't exactly tell you directions. But also, Lucas Oil Racing TV. You can subscribe to that. They have everything with the Lucas Oil pulling. I really wish that they'd have the TV come out here. Maybe one day I could get fancier cameras and start submitting footage to them. I would love to get to that level, but I don't know if it'll ever come there, because those cameras are highly expensive. And I'm not, as you can see what I do here, I'm not Mr. Production by no means. So, but we are learning. Maybe one day we can do that. I mean, if I ever retire from pulling and just stop, maybe I can get into doing, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyhow, they got everything on there, everything that they cover, that they sponsor. Check it out. It's great for the pulls. You can see what's going on out west with the PPL series. It's awesome. But also, before getting, like I said, get into the other thing, I'm probably gonna run this till 10 now and bother everybody all weekend. But yeah, and Mike Walker just commented right there. One guy, Josh, said again, it's like, yeah, you can't forget Tara, because you can see the pink helmet from a mile away, which is true. Yeah, that thing sticks out off that green tractor like anything, which is good. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's really good, because you're never going to mistake who's on that tractor, or any tractor for that matter, if she ever drives another one. But, yeah, Boonesboro this weekend, this Saturday coming up. Let me see, 6 p.m. it says start. I have it written down. I think I have that properly written down. So 6 p.m., and that is 7/8 of 2017. That is the 8th this Saturday. So Boonesboro, great track, great environment, nice area. I hate the hills on 70 getting there with the trailer, but you know what? We're going anyway, because I really want to pull that track. I'm afraid it's going to be another power track, but we're not going to do what we did this past weekend. Try to make it a little bit better. We'll beat the distance from the last week, and that's a win. So we're going to do that. But let me move on to, if this thing plays, I hope it does. I just made it today. My buddy, Mr. Andy Schroeder with the Pedal to Metal. I talk about him all the time with the Re-Style pulling hitches for your gas truck, diesel truck, does not matter. Put together a little compilation here that no music, no sound. I mean, I could blab myself through it. Just putting it together. Pedal to Metal, I mean, you can look him up on Facebook with the number 2 in the middle. He does pulling hitches, does a little bit of other stuff, but this is his specialty. Everything is TIG welded. That's the main receiver bar right there. I mean, like I said, just a little compilation of something I put together real quick for about 2 minutes worth of time. Excellent job he does on these things. Great work. You talk to him. I mean, he can, if you want a certain color, I mean, there's certain colors that he can do. I mean, if you have one in preference, he'll probably do it for you. You got to talk to the man. But those are the hitches. It's getting better. Rings, I mean, everything's TIG welded, TIG welding gun. I know he TIGs them. Very good at what he does. There's half of him. I got a better picture of him later. There's one that came up on Facebook today, and I didn't get it in there. I wish I did, but there's his little slogan, modified because stock sucks, which, yeah, I can agree. But that was the giveaway hitch that he did this year. He made that little stand out of connecting rods and everything. It was really cool. Yeah, some of the hitches on the truck. You know, what it looks like, the flat hitch. Now, you see the ones that are at an angle is what he calls the ghost hitch. So if your rules allow that, it has that angle to try to closely match the angle of the chain on the pulling sled, on a Class 8 sled. But now the holes in that thing, you'll see on some of them, you'll see 4 holes actually in the ring. Those holes are offset to where that is not just a run-of-the-mill bought hitch. That hitch can be finely tuned up to like a ½ inch. You can get so close to your hitch height no matter what with these hitches. And that's the reason he's making them, and he does it the way he does. Now, that's his new blood red one that I really like. And wait till you see the next pictures coming up on the truck. It is sharp, clean looking. Boom. There's one shot. There's another one coming. I mean, it is just nice. The guy has a nice truck, too. Don't get me wrong. He's got things clean and tucked. But that's what the ghost hitch looks like actually on the truck. So there he is, the crazy nut himself. I had to put that one up there. So, Andy, if you're watching, you're welcome. But pedal to metal hitches. If you need a hitch, it's a Restyle, and that's what you pull, a Restyle hitch. Check this guy out. Like I said, look him up on Facebook, contact him. I don't have his. I have his number. I should have tried to put it up there. I don't know if he wants me to or not. But check him out on Facebook. Contact him. He's got really good stuff. He's doing a great job. And like I said, he became a pretty good friend, even though we have never met face to face yet. But just talking on the phone, things like that, because he is in Michigan and I'm in Maryland. One day we'll meet. But I've turned into a really great friend. I mean, it's a cool guy. I mean, people can talk bad about anybody, but I don't know. I can't say nothing bad about him yet. Put it that way. But let's put up the ticker, if I can get the right one up. Boom, there it is. So we can start rolling on this little thing if my phone decides to fly off. But the topic that I wanted to touch, and like I said, I don't want to kill the time. We're already 9:21, so we're probably going to run a little bit. But topic I wanted to touch is just a little insight of what we do as pullers. Before we get into stuff, not your setup and everything, not doing air pressure or anything like that, your mental setup before you get up on your rig, on your beast, or in it for that matter. What do you do? Like, do you have a routine? Do you have a certain setup that you are, like a system that you go through before you get in? Is there a certain song that you play that you get hyped up into and get into your zone? You know, what do you do as a puller before you hook? You know, how does your system work? Do you just fly with it and just be like, oh, whatever? Or is there certain things that you do? I mean, some things could be funny. I mean, heck, you might, hug a teddy bear before you get on it. I mean, whatever you do, you do. I mean, we can get deeper. But, whatever it could be that you do beforehand. I mean, me, I just go around, make sure everything is good. And I'm more easy going in the truck. But now I have my system once I get in the seat. Before the seat, it is whatever it is. But when I'm in the seat, it's the same thing. Make sure the switches are all where it needs to be. Remember steering. We don't want Luray to happen again. Remember the steering switch, and everything. Make sure the truck seems to pull when you're getting up to the sled. Make sure both hubs feel like they're locked in. Not always is the case, but that's just a routine I do. But before I get to the track, make sure, first thing I sit in there, get everything going. First thing, boom, buckle the seatbelt. First thing I do is the seatbelt. Get my butt positioned in the seat where I'm comfortable, where I feel one with the truck. Now, like I said, this truck, tractor, lawnmower, I don't care who does what. But, let me see, go back over here. But after I do the seatbelt, get everything, like I said, switches, seatbelt, get comfortable. Then my hat comes off because I'm always wearing a hat. Head sock goes on, helmet goes on. Now, the last thing I put on for some reason is the gloves. Gloves are the last thing because I like to feel everything, have a feel, a touch. Even when the truck's running, it's one of the last things I do is put the gloves on just because, you almost have to. Or at least I do. But anyhow, that is my system. I mean, I don't really have anything much more than that. But now the discipline behind the wheel is staying focused. And I'm not looking at fans. I'm not looking down the end of the track. I'm looking at what's in front of me. Looking at the track, picking the line, like, all right, that's what I scoped out before I got to the track. That's my line I need to be in. This is where I want to head. So if my truck is a little bit cocked, I don't like it to be that way, but sometimes I do it. But make sure you're following your line. You're at that point that you want to get at. All right, I know I want to go here. Where do I have to be here? And you want to look to see what's in front of you. There's nothing on the sides of you. There's nobody watching, no nothing. It's just you and the machine. Then I'm watching the tack of when to leave. Tighter track, I try to get it up a little bit higher. Looser track, it's touchy. I mean, that part you have to feel out. But that's my system. And like I said, anybody, there goes my screen again. Poop. But, it's nothing special of a system, but that's where I was wondering if anybody had anything different that they did to where, it could be something that you may think is stupid that you don't want to talk about, or something that is just, just totally ridiculous for that matter. But if that's your system, like I said, I know guys who put headphones in and they have a certain song they listen to and it amps them up. I mean, it gets them into that zone. It locks their brain in where they could focus. They could do what needs to be done. Is that something that a lot of people do or not? I mean, like I said, it's getting a little bit late, so I don't know who's going to call in, if anybody. If somebody does, they do. If not, well, there's the wife putting stuff up there. Yeah, I have the ticker up there. I guess she's not watching. See a little thing on the bottom there? Yeah. Oh, well, you can't see my mouse. Yeah, I'm dumb. But that's kind of the thing I wanted to hit, just to see, like I said, if anybody, like I said, phone's hooked up. I mean, I don't know if anybody's trying it or not, but, just something to basically, shoot the crap about, of just an insight of stuff. Maybe it's something somebody would get into and be like, oh, maybe I got to try that. Maybe you're a little bit distracted before you get on the truck, tractor, lawnmower, whatever you may pull. It could be even a mini rod for that matter. I mean, that's concentration. A mini mod or a modified tractor or anything of the sort that you have high horsepower, high wheel speed, you've got to be on your game. So like I said, the discipline behind the wheel, of what to do, what not to do. More or less keeping your mind straight when you're doing it. Like I said, I mean, I don't look like anybody's going to call in. So if not, I mean, it doesn't bother me. Hearing protection of the helmet. Usually, in my case, my truck's not as loud as the other guys. The 650 cubic inch to my 429 does have a different tone, but the helmet drowns out quite a bit, especially in the truck. Now, in a modified tractor, I think some guys I've seen have earplugs before. Those things can get probably really nasty that the helmet might not. And some numbers not displayed. What is she talking about? That thing's rocking and rolling. What are you talking about? It's going around in the loop. But anyhow, let me get back to that. I'm not paying attention to her. But can't really hear much in my truck with helmet on. Like Walter said, that's the same with me. I can hear the motor. I mean, I can hear the tone of the motor to where I know where I want to be. If something's wrong, something's right. But it's not ear piercing. It's not ear damaging. Put it that way. It's pretty muffled. I mean, if you got a good helmet, it'll be pretty muffled. There's really not. It's not much to really worry about. Not in the truck at least. Plus, you're inside the cab. I mean, it drowns out a lot. Headers are going up. Now, trucks that have headers underneath the cab, they rattle a little bit more, but I wouldn't say anything where you'd really need hearing protection. But I mean, it's your call. Depends on your helmet. It depends on how sensitive your ears are. I mean, I'm one of them what guys. You got to tell me 3 times because I'm probably damaged it over the years. But it's not too bad in the vehicle. It's pretty easy going. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. What's that? Tractor people might have a different thing. The diesels aren't bad. Modified tractor, I'd love to have somebody chime in on that and kind of let us know what it is, what it's like, how much of the rumble you're actually getting, how much is inflicted onto you, even though the motors are in the front. But how much of that are you getting? I would love to know that because I've never got to drive one of them, and I don't think I ever will. Not really sure if I want to. I mean, they can get stupid fast, really fast. Anybody? Yeah, we could do this. Let's see. Now, asking these questions because...
Throw me a frickin' bone here. I'm the boss. Need the info.
Just because. I haven't added any more, so I'm probably going to replay a bunch of them just because I haven't got time. It's a lot of time entering those things in, so... What else can I do? Don't know. And the wife's like, I'm watching, but there are times the number's not displayed. Well, it's coming around. I don't know if I can speed that up while I'm sitting here doing nothing. Not sure. Let's see, duration. General? Nope. We're going to sit here and learn how to do this. Ooh, advanced. No, that ain't it. No, I don't think I can change the speed while it's actually running, if it's still running. Hopefully I didn't screw that up. No, there it is. Ooh, you know what? I could probably pause it. Dink. Haha. Look what I figured out. Yeah, I'm a dork. Let's get it a little bit further. And boom. There we go. Let's see what that turns out to be. See if I'm still playing here. Yeah, everything's still playing, and it should be there. So the live call-in number right there. If anybody, like I said, I'll run the show for a good about 15 minutes more if somebody wants to call in and BS about something. Talk about, like I said, your discipline behind the wheel of what you do, or anything. Any pullers out there that are watching, throw it out there on a whim. I mean, the number is 443-945-3929. So give it a whirl if you want. Like I said, I opened the doorway up. I figured somebody would have called in, but if not, no biggie. I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, first time doing it, so, it's shot in the dark, put it that way. So I'll just sit here and wait and watch it. Hello? No. But like I said, if nobody wants to call in, that's fine. Like I said, we'll shut it down. I won't drag it out anymore, so let's see if there's any other questions on there or anything. Anybody picking? Joan Mackey. There we go. She said right before the hook, kind of jittery, but as soon as the RPMs start coming up, it kind of be, or John Mackey, not Joan. Jesus. Sorry. He said a little jittery, but as soon as the RPMs start coming up, it kind of becomes a black hole. He says he hears nothing but the motor. And I could agree with that. I couldn't say it as good as that came out. That's perfect. And that is true. As soon as you get to that RPM level and start releasing that clutch and getting down the track, it's just you fall. You really do fall into the zone. And that kind of happens to me, where I try to block things out, but I mean, you do fall into this little world of your own until the poll's done, and then it's just like, then you get to look around, and it's like, oh, okay. But for that period of time, yeah, that's perfect. That is a perfect way to put it. Wish I thought of that. Yeah, the jittery, I don't know if I get the jittery a little bit. More or less, I think my jitters come from, is this thing going to hold up again? That's my jittery that I get out of it. But other than that, it's, it is what it is. I mean, anything can break. We know what we do with what it is. We're putting stuff through the test that it wasn't really designed to do. Especially mine. I still have a 1-ton drivetrain of mine. Some guys still do. The bigger guys, they got bigger stuff in it, but they got a lot bigger horsepower, so they tear stuff up also. I mean, anything is possible, but a mod can shake. All right, now we got a mod guy. Mod can shake pretty hard, but the helmet muffles a lot of the noise. So, two-wheel drive truck would probably be the loudest. That's what I was kind of wondering too, with how close a lot of the guys sit to the motor. Yeah, that motor is really, really close. The mod gives you a little bit of different distance, and you're kind of out in the open where it might escape from you. Enjoy the show. Thank you. At least I'm glad somebody's enjoying it. If it's just one person, it's worth it. I mean, I have fun doing it myself. I entertain myself half the time because I'm not normal. But it's just what I do. I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself and have fun, well, I don't know. I don't know what to do. It keeps me occupied. That's why I can do things alone. I keep myself busy. But the two-wheel drive, I can only imagine. It's got to be nuts. Yeah, pretty much the same, still running. Yeah, John's still running the stock axles, minus the ring and pinion being changed. Yeah, but stock axles, stuff like that. I mean, you're not killer size like some of the guys out there are. I mean, putting big rears off, I don't even know what they are. Bigger than 106, Rockwells that some of the guys are running. So, yeah, I mean, you keep inching up on the horsepower. Sooner or later, something is gonna happen. If you hook it hard enough with enough power on toothpicks, as I call it, what's in my truck for axles. Well, the Dana 60 is good. The 14 bolt, I know that axle is going to let me down one of these days. It hasn't, but it ain't big block power. So big block diesel power, the amount of torque that those things make, they put a lot more stress on a lot more components. So being that I still run the small block, it's affordable for me, but I run the small block for that reason, affordability, and I'm a little nervous. I want the power, don't get me wrong. But I am a little nervous on taking that step to that more torque, to that big block power. I don't know what else to put, just power, to where it will tear stuff up if you have enough. So that's kind of something that I worry about, where I don't have to worry so much with the small block. It's still fun. It gets down the track. I mean, it spins tires, it throws dirt, and it's keeping stuff together. I mean, if anybody knows U-joints, drive shafts, okay, My front drive shaft, since I built the truck to this day, is still a 1310 series U-joint. The rears are still a 1350. I have not upgraded to anything bigger yet. But the front drive shaft is my worry. I figured it would have grenaded already this year. I do not know how it's staying together. Knock on this desk is wood. Knock on wood. The 1310s are actually holding up, but the way you drive it makes a difference too. If you're going to bounce and be stupid with it, you're going to tear stuff. You could tear stuff up with a 6-cylinder. It doesn't matter. Smooth runs and consistent power throughout will make the parts survive. I mean, I don't think I've got either of that, but I've been lucky. I mean, I've been really lucky with that baby U-joint. So, yeah, impressive on a 1310. Believe me, I think about that every day, Walter. But that is what's still in the truck. It is a 1310. No double cardian joint. It's just straight to straight because my angle is not that steep. So it's not necessary. And I don't care about vibration. So it is just it's a Spicer, the old Spicer style yoke on the transfer case, factory Spicer style to the Dana 60 and 1310. It was out of a dump truck. So it's still going. So we're going to keep using it. That's why I haven't tried. I want to try the big tires one day on one of the outdoor tracks. I ran up a Keystone, and it's not bad in there. Indoor track, you can get away. There's a little bit of leeway there on some of the indoor tracks. Not all, but some. Outdoor track, I'm a little nervous to run the 34s. I'm trying to stay reliable for the season and not tear stuff up, because if I do back halve it and put the drop box in it this winter, I don't want to have to spend money on drive shafts. So I'm trying to be a little bit conservative, but still trying to make headway with the truck. So it's a real up and down with me right now. I'm all over the place. Can't make up my mind what I want to do. But God, I got to talk about somebody else's stuff here. I don't want to talk about mine. Everybody's going to get sick of the thing soon. I'm going to have to buy another truck. No. You didn't do any more. Uh-oh. Yeah, say goodbye to the 14 bolt. Oh, I know. It's definitely coming. I have a 106 housing, but it's all I have is the housing. Trying to actually find one that's already cut down, that's already narrowed, that's set up. Somebody that's got one in a truck that they're taking out, that's set up, that I don't have to worry about too much stuff as long as the gear ratio is right, and just basically make the brackets, bolt it in, and start at that point. This one here, I don't have the proper facility, so to say, to narrow it myself. I probably could, but I don't want to chance it. I'd rather not chance that and just probably end up sending it out to somebody. If I can't find a complete axle, send it out to somebody, have it narrowed, but I got to get the truck the end of the season, get it in, figure out what I'm going to do to the back end of the truck, and get my measurements, everything else. It's going to be a nightmare. So hopefully I do things right. We don't know, but yeah, at some point, if I'd like to get rid of the 14, yes, I do want a bigger motor, but I'm worried about getting the chassis done, getting the drivetrain done, getting that strengthened where it needs to be before the big motor comes in. So that's why everybody's like, why don't you just build a big block? Yeah, I would, but the stuff that's in the truck right now is not going to handle it. I know that. It is not going to handle any major horsepower increase. So I'm better off taking the money now, setting the chassis, getting the chassis done, finished up again, changing it, getting the drivetrain strengthened, get it built up, and still have the small block in the truck and run it the way it is there, and then save up and then move on, so forth, so on. Hopefully it goes that way. We'll see what money does down the road. I don't know. I'm not a rich man, and that is why I still have it. Yeah, I don't know. I get a little nervous on that. It's so people tell me you need plates and you got to put bars in them and do this and do that, and I'm like, I'll just measure it out, cut the tube, and just cut a section out of the tube and just squeeze the sucker together. It'll be fine. Just make sure the spindles are straight, and I should be all right, I think. But I really want to get a center section. Basically, get a center section in it first before I try to do that. That way, I have something to go off of, internally with a shaft. So. Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, like I said, the rear's down to the housing's in the basement, so we'll see how far it goes. I mean, I had one at one time, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to put it in. I'm going to stay with the local pro stock mod class. And then I decided to change that all up and go with the East Coast stuff, and I'm like, well, here we go again. Now I'm starting all over buying all these heavy-duty parts that I had at one time, got rid of, and now I'm doing it again. So, stupid me, should have just kept what I had. But it is what it is. So I usually have a smoke before I get in the truck. Oh, I have like 80 of them. You can ask the wife. I chain smoke both out of pull. Oh, Walter might get a axle housing. But once in the truck, I just keep focused on getting hooked, paying attention to my line. Yep. And then just watch my boost gauge and leave the line. Still new to the sports. I haven't full gotten down a routine. It'll come. The routine stuff, I wouldn't say think about a routine. Don't try to train yourself to a routine. Kind of do like I guess almost like a muscle memory, if you want to call it a muscle memory. I'd say just go with it, and you're gonna fall into a groove. You're gonna end up flopping into your own thing without thinking about it. And it's probably the best way because it's gonna be more natural to you. So whatever it is, take note of what you do, but you're gonna end up falling into it. Like me, I never thought about what I do. I just realized it now of what I do. I don't know how many countless times in and out of the truck, I know my system, of when I get in there, it's switches, everything, everything's good, everything's off at that point in time. Everything is looking normal, voltage is up, things of that nature, and just going over it. Be like, okay, basically the only switch I got to remember, I got to force myself to remember is the stupid steering switch that I have a habit of forgetting once in a while. But I've been good lately. But then seatbelt, head sock, helmet, gloves, fire the thing up, get to the line, make sure you feel it out. It's stuff that I did by accident and it turned into a routine. So I wouldn't say, don't take a routine, from the book. I don't agree with that because it's not going to be natural. It's not going to be comfortable, I don't think. Maybe some people learn that way or maybe some people do it that way. But for me, I'm not going to go by a book. I'm going to go by more instinctive action as you get in it. How does this flow? And as long as everything flows. Now, one big important thing, too, to be able to flow in the truck, make sure you're not stretching for things. Make sure everything is where you can sit there and you're comfortable with your butt in the seat, you got your stuff going, and it's ding, 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 ding. Everything is nice, quick, easy, smooth, and that is going to set a big tone, for what you're doing there, for your discipline behind the wheel, if you get to that point, to where everything's within reach, boom, boom. Now you're concentrating. You have that focus on the track, like you said, keeping up on your line. Paying attention to the line that you want. That's highly important. I mean, if you walk the track in the beginning and everybody's out there with their pokers, I just heel toe the thing anymore. I'm personally, I don't get anything out of that poker. I really don't. Either that or I'm just not experienced or knowledgeable. But I walk it. I just walk the track, see what's soft under my feet, see what's hard. I'm not too concerned about what's underneath. Not at this point at the level that I'm at. I just need to know what this track's going to do. And I read Shippensburg, but I figured, hey, it's a tight track. I'm going to put a hook in to see what it does. Well, we found out what it does. it kills it. But, that's how I do it. But now, getting off topic. But when you find that line, you're walking that track and you're looking for your line. Like, all right, what's going to benefit me? How my truck, my tractor works. Where do I got to go? All right, I want to go over here. Well, if you start losing focus behind the wheel and you're just like halfway down the track, I want to be over there. Well, guess what? It's a little late because if you try to make left turn, Clyde, it's that turns. The second you shift that thing, there goes feet. I mean, you're losing distance. Period. Everybody knows it. It's how it works. Sometimes you can get lucky. Sometimes you can't. So most of the time, you start wiggle worming down the track and you're gonna lose distance, and it's measured by laser. So I don't care if you want to do U-turns on that track. It's not going to add to your distance any with a laser. Where you end up is where you end up. So you want to put the mileage on, go right ahead. You're still going to plop where you plop. So and now when you have the sleds, now not to put this out there to anybody, but it's a double-edged sword. If you have something that reads the ground, all right, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. If it's not a straight line, it becomes longer. So if you go down the track and you wiggle worm the sled all over, you go one side of the track to the other, just, hey, you're out for some sort of drifting thing. You want to be like fast and fabulous, and not fabulous, whatever the heck that thing is. Fast and furious crap. If you want to be them and you want to be drifting all over the place, hey, go for it. You could add distance, but you're going to take away the distance because every time you wiggle worm that sled, there's a possibility it's going to unload your truck. It's going to unload your tractor. Something's going to happen. The straightest line is the best pull, but it's also the shortest pull. So I wouldn't say the shortest pull. It's going to be your longest pull if you go straight. But like I said, you can make distance on a sled monitor, but on a laser, I don't care where you go on that track. Like I said, you can put miles down. Your distance is straight line with the laser. So if you're getting laser measured, Straight line is the best thing you can do to get that distance. Start wiggle worming around, you're going to lose some. You're going to lose feet. Easily put, you're going to lose feet. So, but anyway, that line's important. Focusing on that line, and that's where that, as soon as like what John was saying about having them RPMs come up, and when those RPMs start coming up, you start to become one with the ride. And it sounds weird, but that's how I feel. You start to become one with the machine, and you're feeling it out. You're not even. I look at the tack, but you more or less feel it, where you know it's like, all right, you start pulling out, or the thing starts doing something stupid. All right, I need less clutch. I need more clutch. You know, I got to slip it more. I got to slip it less. I need more RPM for this. I got to get out harder, faster. Everything starts to flow, and it's a lot of information all at once. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there goes my screen. That thing's. I've been yapping. It's probably been dead for a while now, and I just ain't paid attention. But I mean, there's so much information going on all at once, but you're able to handle it. You know, you're in your element, which is strange, but you're in your element where it all comes together. Yeah, and like I said, you become part of the machine, and that's one thing I've always emphasized. If you become part of that machine, and that's part of your routine and part of the discipline that you are doing in that seat before and during the hook, that is a comfort zone. That is something that's going to make or break your pull. I mean, if you're not comfortable and part of it to feel it out, I mean, it sounds ridiculous. I mean, it honestly does sound ridiculous. But if you become one with it, you know, like I said, as stupid as it sounds, if you become one with it, it just everything flows. And I don't know how else to put it. It just flows. So, all right, that's other stuff, but I don't know. I mean, it's 9:47. I really didn't want to get close to that 2-hour mark, but I did anyway because I was yapping. A lot of stuff to cover. I mean, it was 2 weeks, so hopefully, like I said, I'm going to think of another topic, and I guess we'll try the phone thing again one day. See if anybody wants to call in, try to do it earlier. If I don't have 2 East Coast pulls the same weekend to cover, there's a lot more time. It opens up a doorway, but there was just a lot to talk about. And when I get rolling on something, it's endless. Like I said, this discipline thing, I can go off of this driver's discipline, your routine, so fast and go on to something completely different of what I do or something on the track, you know, and the wife will contest to that. So, but anyhow, we'll call it, you know, it's all good. But I guess we'll call it good there. Like I said, I don't want to keep everybody up, and I got stuff. I still have to finish saving all this stuff and make things happen. So my night is not over by no means. But let's see, make sure everything's good. But yeah, like I said, this weekend, I think Austin said something. There was one in Utah. I got to go back now. Now I'm thinking about it, I got to say it, if I can go back to it. Nah, the way I have this thing chopped, I can't go back. But Austin said there's one in Poland, Utah that's going on this weekend. I'm sorry I missed it. I caught it real close. Now it disappeared, and I don't want to push the wrong button and lose stuff here because I don't trust computers that much. But anyhow, he's got a poll going on. Like I said, this weekend's Boonesboro. I don't, off the top of my head, I do not know of any other polls in this area. I don't know of any others. I didn't look on Dragon Motorsports. I didn't look on anything else, Interstate or whatever. So I don't mind putting it out there, but I concentrate on the East Coast stuff. You know, what's directly local to me and the East Coast thing I'm really pushing on. But at the same time, I don't mean to cut anybody out. I want to promote as much as I possibly can. Boy, I'm getting a froggy. Oh, I did not know that. Battle of Bluegrass is running this weekend. Hello. Huh. Always wanted to go to that, but guess what? I can't. That's going to be good. I wonder if anybody's going to stream that. I'd like to see if I can catch that, or at least video it somehow. I'd like to see some stuff from down there. But they got some cool stuff, good running stuff, great people. I know some of the guys down that way. But there's one down there in Kentucky that's going to be kicking off. Battle of the Bluegrass. That'll be a good one. But like I said, Boonesboro with the East Coast coming up. Bluegrass, like Walter said, and the one in Utah, like Austin said, there's stuff going on. Like I said, I just don't have it all in front of me. And going back to that, I don't mean to cut anybody out of it, or I'm trying to get what I can put out there as much as I can. But within a time frame, like I said, I'm just going to yap on and make this a 2-hour show anyway. But time limit is I wouldn't say I have a time limit. I just don't want to. I don't want to go too long. but just the stuff, like getting used to the stuff, still trying to get this equipment to operate smoothly. Like it's still freezing up. I just don't get it. So I need to figure that out. But just trying to keep track of this stuff. And I'm new to this. I don't know. I don't even think I hit a 6-month mark into doing this stuff. So I'm not the best by no means. And I'm not going to say I know exactly what I'm doing. I mean, honestly, I'm getting a grasp on it. But I mean, there's so much to learn. And I got this screen, and I got it. I can't describe it to you. You'd have to see it. I don't know how to patch that over to that fancy stuff like everybody does. Like, oh, here's a display. Look at this. I'm not that good yet. But that screen, I got, like I said, the monitor. It's a 32-inch TV that I got 2 different things going on. The recording for the radio side of things whenever I get the radio stuff up and going. I'm working on a website, putting that stuff together right now for it. So let the cat out of the bag on that one. But so it's getting there little by little. It's stepping stones and it's money. The stuff's not free, so it takes me a little while with pulling and everything to get it together. But we're getting there. I mean, it's slow, but we're getting there. But there's just a lot going on where the one computer over here runs my noises, my intro and my exit. So I got to don't have to keep an eye on it, but I got to have a mouse for that, and that's where I screw up on my mice. This one here's split. You know, and I'm learning to watch the Facebook, and usually I do on my phone, not on the computer. And, Andy put on there. I appreciate it. I'm doing a fine job. Cool. It's always good news. Always good news to hear. But usually I watch the Facebook on the phone, but since I had the phone line open if anybody wanted to call in, I figured, all right, well, let me figure out how to split it on the screen. So I got crap going on all over the place. And there we go again. I was just going to say, and then I'm trying to watch this because it keeps freezing up, and I don't know what the deal is with it. It is driving me absolutely bonkers. God, that word's probably from like 1950s. But anyway, it's just driving me absolutely nuts that thing keeps freezing up, and I got to keep playing this switchy game. So it's probably going to look like a really, really crappy video footage, but we're going to get it figured out. I mean, luckily right now we're running. We got the stream going. We got that side of it fixed, and I thought that update was going to fix that, and I'm wrong. So we're going to make a couple phone calls, and we're going to get that all snazzed up. Let me see. Everything else I guess we covered. So I guess we'll call it good on that one. It's 9:52. We got work tomorrow. I got work tomorrow. Probably everybody else does. And if you're retired, God bless you, you're retired. You put your time in and you finally made it. So anyway, that's that. We'll call it good on that. Hope everybody enjoyed. All my babbling towards the end here got a little sketchy, but anyhow, that's the show. Like I said, thanks to everybody out there who supports it, who listens to it, who deals with it. Thanks for everything everybody does. East Coast, all the supporters, all the promoters, everything out there. I mean, everybody that's putting into this. I wouldn't say putting into this, but everybody that supports what I'm doing, even the polling stuff. I highly appreciate it. It keeps me going because I get in a slump quite often on this stuff. So it's a good pick me up that good people are out there and keep the stuff going and actually want it to go. I mean, that's the important part. That's what really speaks volumes to me is that the people supporting it that want to see it continue when I want to throw it in the trash and they actually want to see it. And I just got to try to keep that in my head that it's like, they actually want it. I don't know why. I just, I really, I'm not saying I'm great at this. I mean, I'm trying to get better. I mean, I'm hoping everything's going good, hoping people enjoy it. Like I said, am I rambling? Just like now, just yapping about the whatever. I mean, having a conversation with myself to a camera. It's a very strange feeling because I am really not used to it. Still, I am not used to it because I'm catching myself. I'm looking over here when I should be looking over here. It's just it's a nutty thing. But like I said, we're getting there. We're building. I'm trying to learn new stuff on this because I really want to do something different on here. Which one day when I figure it out, you'll see what it is. And if it does work out, it's going to be really cool. And I'm probably going to get really stupid with it because when I figure out fun stuff, I go back to being a kid. Just like my little echoey thing that I'm playing with and trying to do stuff. So, yeah, the dumb is just beginning. So stay tuned on it. I'm not going to say it's going to be as entertaining as Sidetrack as two guys that are both really crafty really make a good show. So I could be crafty, but sometimes I just need that extra little kick. Like tonight, the guys putting the stuff in and throwing the comments up, keeping me going at the end. Or I start to lose a little idea where I run out and I'm like, all right, well, when you run out, you just stop. But anyhow, we should stop. So, well, I guess like I said, for the 5th time, we're going to call it good now if I could just shut up for 2 seconds. So let me get my get my other thing here. Now I'm going to get on another topic now. Watch. No. But anyhow, till next time, we're going to call it good. And my usual, happy building, or happy pulling, happy building, and hook safe from Spinnin N Grinnin. And we will catch you next Wednesday. See ya.